The story begins on a quiet summer morning in Maple Valley, Washington, July 24th, 2020. The light is soft, golden, and the world feels still, as if unaware that something irreversible is about to unfold. 18-year-old Gia Fuda wakes early. Her room is neat but lived in. A small bookshelf lined with paperbacks, a half-finished sketch on her desk, and a backpack leaning by the door. To anyone who knew her, Gia was independent, creative, and thoughtful. She'd recently graduated high school and was looking forward to college. That morning, she leaves her home without fanfare. No message, no hint of worry. Just a casual, "I'll be back later." She climbs into her silver 2008 Toyota Corolla and drives away. Hours later, she's captured on a security camera at a coffee shop near Index, a tiny mountain town east of Seattle. The footage shows her standing alone at the counter, long brown hair, light jacket, coffee in hand. Her expression is calm. The timestamp reads 10:06 a.m. Then she gets back into her car and drives east along US Highway 2, a stretch of road that threads through the Cascade Mountains, narrow, winding, and bordered by miles of uninhabited forest. No one knows why she went that way. She hadn't told friends or family about any plans, and yet, from that moment, she vanishes completely. By evening, she still hasn't returned home. Her phone goes straight to voicemail. Her parents, worried, begin calling friends, relatives, anyone who might have seen her. No one has. By nightfall, her car hasn't been traced, and the unease turns into panic. The next morning, the King County Sheriff's Office issues a missing person alert. The official description: 18-year-old female, brown hair, brown eyes, last seen wearing jeans and a black hoodie, driving a silver 2008 Toyota Corolla, license plate BMY 7DU5V6. Search efforts begin immediately. Patrol cars trace her known routes. Helicopters fly over the mountains. Volunteers start to organize. Then a discovery changes everything. On July 25th, around 2 p.m., a passing driver spots an abandoned vehicle by the side of Highway 2, about 30 miles from Index. The car is Gia's. It's pulled off the road at a sharp curve, completely out of gas. The driver's door is unlocked, the keys still inside. Her purse and wallet sit neatly on the passenger seat, untouched. There's no sign of struggle, no broken glass, no tire tracks suggesting a chase. It looks like she simply stopped and walked away. But that's what makes it so strange. Investigators find no footprints leading away from the car. The area is steep and dangerous, thick undergrowth, cliffs and fast-moving rivers. It's not a place anyone would walk into alone. Detectives describe the scene as puzzling and off. As word spreads, search and rescue units arrive. The weather is clear but hot, the terrain unforgiving. Dogs are deployed, their handlers moving slowly along the roadside ditches and creek beds. Helicopters sweep overhead, their spotlights slicing through the tree canopy, but there's nothing. No sound, no scent trail, no clue that points to where Gia might have gone. That night, officers widen the search area. Every nearby gas station, hiking trail, and roadside store is checked. Locals are interviewed. No one saw her walking. No one saw her car stop. And yet, everyone begins to ask the same question. If she wasn't taken, then why did she leave her car in the middle of nowhere? Halfway through the investigation footage, we pause, because you're watching Trace of Evil. If you follow real cases like this, the ones that blur the line between accident, mystery, and something darker, take a second to subscribe. These are the stories the headlines stop telling. But we don't, and this story won't end the way you think. Then we return. For searchers, it's a nightmare. Steep terrain, sudden drop-offs, rivers cutting through ravines so deep they swallow light. Gia's family drives up to the site that evening. Her mother stands by the car, staring at the door handle as if touching it might explain something. Her brother walks along the shoulder, calling her name into the wind. Search teams stay out until nightfall. Flashlights beam across the trees. Nothing. By morning, the case is declared urgent, but with no leads. The Snohomish County Sheriff's Office takes over coordination. Local news stations pick up the story. Young woman disappears after leaving her car on Highway 2. Reporters gather near the roadblock as officers carry out her personal belongings, the wallet, the keys, the half-empty coffee cup still in the cup holder. Online, theories start forming fast. Did she go hiking? Did she meet someone? Was she running from something? But investigators can't confirm any of it. The morning after Gia's car was found, search teams returned to Highway 2 before dawn. The fog hangs low, wrapping the road in a cold bluish haze. Deputies mark off a perimeter around the Corolla. Evidence flags, tire impressions, drone scans. From above, the landscape looks endless. Jagged ridges, dense cedar forests, and narrow rivers carve through the valley. If Gia was out there, she was somewhere within that maze. Alive or not, no one knew. By noon, the King County Sheriff's Office launches a full-scale search operation. Over 100 volunteers, canine units, and mountain rescue teams begin combing the area. They start with the immediate surroundings, a steep embankment behind the car that drops into thick brush. Then they move outward, 5 miles in every direction. Every inch of the terrain feels hostile. Brambles tear through clothing, insects swarm in the humid air, and the slopes are slick with moss. Even experienced rescuers struggle to stay upright. Despite the conditions, the search intensifies. For the first 2 days, there's no sign of Gia. No footprints, no clothing, no discarded phone, nothing. The only clue investigators have is her last confirmed movement, the gas station and coffee shop security footage. After that, it's as if she vanished off the face of the earth. That's when the media attention explodes. Local news anchors replay her photo again and again, smiling, wearing a denim jacket, brown eyes bright, hair parted down the middle. Beside it, an image of her car, now taped off with yellow police line. The contrast feels unbearable. Reporters gather near the search zone, interviewing volunteers who describe Gia as kind, quiet, and driven. Her family pleads publicly, "If you've seen anything, please come forward. She wouldn't just disappear." Meanwhile, social media fills with speculation. Some say she might have been abducted. Others believe she went hiking and got lost. A few suspect she met someone she trusted and followed them into the woods. But the facts don't line up neatly with any theory. Her car wasn't damaged, her wallet and keys were still inside, and her cell phone, when forensically examined, had no new calls, texts, or GPS pings after she left that coffee shop. It's as if every trace of her digital life went silent at once. By day 3, tension inside the command post grows. Officers review drone footage and thermal imaging scans, searching for any heat signatures in the forest. All they find are animals: deer, raccoons, the occasional bear. Then on day 4, something shifts. A searcher finds a discarded hair tie near a small clearing roughly 2 miles from the highway. It looks like one Gia might have used, simple black, slightly stretched. But the find is too small, too generic to confirm anything. Still, it reignites hope. The area around the clearing becomes the new search center. Teams push deeper into the ravines, following the path of a narrow creek. Night falls. Flashlights sweep through fog. The sense of urgency turns into quiet exhaustion. The camera lingers on the rescuers, mud-streaked faces, heavy breathing, the low thud of boots through wet soil. Every few minutes, someone shouts her name. Nothing answers. But if you've been watching this far, you already know what kind of stories we tell here. The ones that don't end neatly. The ones that ask why long after the news stops asking what. Subscribe to Trace of Evil, because we follow these stories until the silence breaks. By day 6, search leaders begin to accept the grim possibility that Gia might not be alive. The temperature has been dropping at night. The forest canopy traps moisture, keeping the air damp and heavy. Survival experts note that even with water from the creek, dehydration, exposure, or disorientation could become fatal within days. Still, her family refuses to leave the site. Her mother remains near the highway turnout, waiting, staring at the tree line like she can will her daughter to walk back out. Then, on day 8, a turning point. A team searching near a steep ravine southeast of the vehicle spots a makeshift path. Branches broken at shoulder height, leaves pressed flat. Following it, they discover a few scattered items: a notebook, some food wrappers, and a disposable lighter. Nearby, tucked between 2 boulders, are pieces of clothing, a black hoodie and jeans that match the ones Gia was last seen wearing. The location is 8 miles from where her car was found. Searchers call it in immediately. A drone camera captures the site. Deep forest, no trails, no sign of habitation. It's the middle of nowhere. Investigators push forward, carefully marking the path. It's clear someone had been trying to move downhill toward a creek, maybe searching for water, maybe for a way out. The footage cuts between the rescuers' flashlights, and the dark undergrowth, each step more deliberate than the last. By the end of the 8th day, search leaders confirm what everyone feared, but also hoped. There's a human scent detected near the creek bed. They mark the location for a full recovery operation at dawn. As night falls, the camera pans back one last time to the empty road, the same curve where her car had been found a week earlier. For 8 days, Gia Fuda was missing, somewhere between a highway and the wilderness. By morning, searchers would find where she had gone, but not all the answers they were looking for. At dawn on the 9th day, the forest feels still, unnaturally so. A low mist hangs over the Skykomish river valley, muffling the sound of the helicopters circling overhead. Search teams assemble quietly at the base of a ravine, radios crackling with brief, clipped instructions. They know what they're looking for now, a human scent, confirmed the night before by cadaver dogs near a creek that cuts through the mountain. No one says it out loud, but everyone is thinking the same thing. If she's out here, she hasn't survived this long. The footage shifts from wide shots of the terrain, moss-covered rocks, fallen trees, and narrow animal trails, to the searchers forming a human chain as they descend. Then, just before 11 a.m., one of the volunteers stops. A voice shouts over the radio, "We've got something." A pause. Then chaos. Search leaders rush toward the sound. The camera pans through tangled brush and slick mud before focusing on a clearing, beside a shallow stream, partially concealed by ferns and branches. There, lying on her side, is a young woman. She's alive. It's Gia Fuda. When rescuers reach her, she's barely conscious, sunburned, dehydrated but breathing. She can't speak clearly. Her lips are cracked, her clothes are torn, her hair matted from rain and mud. For 8 days, she's been out here alone. She had followed the creek for miles, drinking from it to stay alive. Her car had run out of gas, and instead of waiting by the highway, she decided to walk toward what she thought was help, deeper into the forest instead of out. Rescuers describe her as exhausted but coherent. She recognizes them. One recalls her whispering, "I'm okay." The video cuts to aerial footage of the rescue operation, helicopters hovering above, medics carrying a stretcher through the undergrowth. The narration slows. For more than a week, the search had been for a body. What they found was a miracle. At the command center, word spreads instantly. Deputies hug, reporters go live. Gia's parents collapse into tears when they hear the news. She's airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, her condition stable, her survival unthinkable. If you've been watching this far, you already know why we do this. Not every case ends in tragedy, but every story leaves a question behind. Subscribe to Trace of Evil, where we follow the cases the world almost forgets. And now, once Gia is safe, investigators begin piecing together what happened during those 8 days. The Corolla's gas tank had been bone dry, no fuel left. Inside were her keys, wallet, and phone. The car's battery was dead, meaning no emergency call could have gone out. When Gia realized she was stranded, she left the road and followed what looked like a descending trail, thinking it would lead to a highway or cabin. Instead, it led deeper into the Cascade wilderness, a place few people could navigate without a compass. Her phone died soon after. She had no food, no tent, and no clear sense of direction. Investigators estimate she traveled roughly 8 miles on foot, mostly uphill and downhill through steep, uneven terrain. The area is known for dense vegetation, which can disorient even experienced hikers. For food, she had only a few granola bars from her car, eaten in the first 2 days. After that, she survived on creek water and instinct. A rescue captain later said most people wouldn't have made it past the 3rd night. The temperatures dropped, and she was wearing light clothes, but she stayed near water. That's what saved her. Then comes the human element, her family's reaction. When Gia's mother speaks to the press, her voice trembles. "I kept praying she would hold on. I didn't know she was this strong." Her brother adds, "She was supposed to start college this year. She just wanted to go for a drive." While authorities rule out foul play entirely, a few online communities question the timeline. How could she survive 8 days without more serious injuries? Why did she leave her car in the first place instead of staying put? But deputies confirm the simplest explanation. She ran out of gas, got lost, and survived through sheer will. By evening, local stations replay the footage of her being carried out on a stretcher, her hand weakly clutching a rescuer's glove. For 8 days, the forest kept her secret. When it finally let her go, it didn't just return a missing person. It reminded everyone watching what desperation, instinct, and hope can do when nothing else remains. Authorities described the discovery as nothing short of a miracle. The sheriff's department was relieved, but also puzzled. Nothing in the scene suggested foul play. There were no injuries, no signs of restraint, no evidence she had been with anyone else. And that's where the confusion began. The car's location didn't make sense. It was parked just off a highway pullout, keys in the ignition, phone and purse left behind, things no rational person would willingly abandon. Some speculated she had gotten lost looking for gas. Others thought she might have been meeting someone, though police said there was no evidence of that. Then came a darker question. If she was simply lost, how did she survive 9 days without food, in a forest known for bears, wolves, and freezing nighttime temperatures? As her family celebrated her safe return, online discussions grew louder. People wanted answers, not just for the miracle, but for the mystery behind it. If you've made it this far, you're clearly drawn to stories that don't let go. The kind that leave you thinking long after they end. Make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next episode of Trace of Evil. Back at the investigation room, detectives reviewed everything. Her car, her phone records, and the digital trail leading up to that day. Nothing unusual stood out. She had texted friends, run errands, and refueled at a station before vanishing into the mountains. Her credit cards weren't used again. Her phone never pinged another tower. It was as if she'd walked off the edge of the digital world. And yet, when they found her, Gia couldn't fully explain what happened. She said she had gotten lost after running out of gas, tried to find help, and then couldn't find her way back to the road. She had followed a creek downstream, thinking it would lead her somewhere, a survival tactic that might have saved her life. Her story matched the environment, but the gaps in time, those long, uncertain days, left many uneasy. The Cascade Mountains have long held a reputation for swallowing people whole. Dense, quiet, and unforgiving, they're the kind of place where sound barely travels, and where a single wrong turn can disorient even seasoned hikers. In Gia's case, those woods nearly did. But what truly haunts this story isn't how she disappeared, it's what she endured to come back. Rescuers described her as calm when they found her. She didn't scream, didn't cry, she just asked for water. Some said she looked like she had made peace with her fate. It was the kind of calm that only comes from staring into the edge of survival. To this day, Gia Fuda's disappearance remains one of the strangest modern missing persons cases in Washington state. Officially, investigators closed it with no evidence of foul play. Unofficially, it's a story that still leaves room for unsettling possibilities. Did she suffer a mental break brought on by stress? Was it simple disorientation? Or something more inexplicable that lured her deeper into the woods? Her family, grateful she survived, rarely speaks publicly about it now. But the internet has filled that silence. Threads, theories, and YouTube documentaries each offer their own explanation, some rational, others chilling. Yet through all the speculation, one truth stands. Gia's case shows how quickly the ordinary can turn into the extraordinary, how a single wrong turn can spiral into 9 days of wilderness survival, and how sometimes miracles don't come with explanations. When Gia Fuda left her car on that July morning, she stepped into a mystery that has never been fully solved. A story of fear, endurance, and questions that no one, not even Gia, may ever be able to answer. Because sometimes what happens in the wilderness doesn't stay there. It becomes legend.